Well, how can an illegal immigrant in Massachusetts get a driver's license? It's a question on a lot of people's minds after the state gave President Obama's uncle, Onyengo Obama, a Massachusetts driver's license. This, even though he's here illegally and facing possible deportation. As Fox Undercover's Mike Beaudet has learned, there's a lot more to this story than one driver's license.
You can't call this an only in Massachusetts story, but it comes pretty close. President Obama's uncle was able to get a driver's license because we are one of only 5 states that don't check whether people applying for driver's licenses are here legally. Our failure to do those checks, one expert says, makes Massachusetts a very attractive place for illegal immigrants.
Massachusetts does not check legal status on driver's licenses the way that most of the rest of the country does. So if they are not, then yes, they become a magnet. Massachusetts becomes a magnet for illegal aliens.
A magnet for illegal aliens, according to Janice Kephart of the Center for Immigration Studies, because Massachusetts is not doing what 45 other states are already doing, checking to see if people applying for driver's licenses are here legally. It's a requirement of a federal law known as the Real ID Act, created at the recommendation of the 9/11 Commission. Kephart was a staff member of the commission, which investigated the roots of the terror attack.
We know that 9 of 26 of the hijackers got their licenses fraudulently. Therefore, and then we looked across the board at the rest of the states and saw that all the states were not verifying identity. So we made recommendations that the federal government provide minimum standards across the board. That is the Real ID Act.
The Real ID Act took effect in 2004, and it gives states until January 2013 to comply. Kephart surveyed states earlier this year to see where they stand. Her research finding that Alaska, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Washington, and Massachusetts are the only states that are not checking legal status.
Massachusetts is not in sync with the rest of the states. Therefore, because they're falling out of sync, they're not verifying that people are who they say they are, and that is where the fraud comes in to the system.
How difficult would it be for Massachusetts to check the legal status of people applying for driver's licenses if the state wanted to do it?
It's extremely easy. All they have to do, all Massachusetts has to do to cut out much of this fraud is to verify legal status. Is that hard to do anymore? Absolutely not. There's a federal database called SAVE that will provide all that information in seconds.
SAVE is short for Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements. It's run by the Department of Homeland Security and allows access to over 100 million records. Because Massachusetts is not getting that information, Kephart says the state has become an attractive destination for illegal aliens.
They're still working through smugglers and counterfeiters as they are here because they're not here legally, they have to assimilate themselves, and they have to do it in an illegal, fraudulent manner. So they still work with smugglers who direct them as to where to go to get that driver's license. Wherever the least amount of identity is checked, that is where they will go. So Massachusetts has become a magnet as other states have tightened up their issuance processes.
We asked a spokesperson for the State Department of Transportation why these checks aren't being done. But all we received is a statement saying the Patrick administration is reviewing the federal law that requires the checks to be done by January. If Massachusetts doesn't start checking legal status or otherwise comply with the Real ID Act, it's going to cause some big changes at the airport. According to Janice Kephart, your Massachusetts driver's license won't be accepted anymore as a form of ID to board a plane. I'm Mike Beaudet for Fox Undercover.